Alright guys, in this video we're gonna make it so that we can upload photos to these albums. Alright, so we want to be able to click on one of these and it takes us to the albums page with an upload button and also the listing of photos in that album. So what we'll do here is go to, let's see, we're gonna go to our albums controller and go down to, actually we haven't created it yet, but we're gonna create a function called show. So let's say public function show. Alright, and then let's see, this is going to have an ID parameter. So let's pass in right here ID. And we're going to want to fetch that album by ID. So let's say album, and we're going to set that to album with photos. And we're going to call get. Alright, I'm sorry, not get. We're going to call find and then pass in the ID. Alright, once we do that, we can load the show view. So let's say return view, and that's going to be albums.show, and then we'll attach with because we want to send along the album. Okay, so let's go ahead and save that, and then we're going to go down to our views, and inside the albums folder we're going to create a new file called show.blade.php. Now in here we're going to have access to both the album info and the photos in that album. So let's first just extend the layout. So that'll be layouts.app. And then we'll have our section. Okay, that'll be content. And inside here, let's put an H1. And this is going to be the album name, which we should have access to. So it'll be album name. Alright, let's try it up to this point. So actually, we need to create a route first. So let's go to routes and then web.php. And let's set, I'll just copy this here. Get rid of this. Alright, so it'll be albums slash and then the ID. And that's going to go to albums controller show. So let's save that, and then we'll go back and reload, and there's our show view for animals. If we go and click on black and white, we get that show view. So under the H1 in the view, we're going to put, first of all, we're going to put a link to go back. So we'll say a class, and we'll give it a class of button, and secondary, which will make it gray, and href will go to slash. Alright, and we'll just say go back. And then under that, we want a button to go to the photos upload or photos create page. So let's say A, we'll give this a class of button. And the href is going to go to slash photos slash create. And then we also want to send along the album ID so that it knows which album to upload to. Just like that. Alright, and then for the text we'll just say upload photo to album. Alright, and then under that we'll just put an HR tag. Let's save that. And there we go. So I'm not going to get to the photos that we're going to list down here just yet. I want to do the form. I want to be able to upload them first. Alright, so if we click this, it'll go to photos slash create slash and then the album ID. So let's go and create a route for that. So we'll go to our web PHP file here. And let's see, we're going to grab this. Okay, and then this is going to go to photos slash create slash ID, which will be the album ID. and then that's going to go to the photos controller, and it's going to go to the create, okay, which is going to take care of showing the form. So let's save that and go to our photos controller. Let's see, photos controller, and let's add the create function. Okay, now this create is going to take in the album ID, which comes from the URL, and then we're going to return a view. Okay, so the view is going to be photos.create, and then we want to pass along with that the album ID, which is going to come from the URL, which comes into that parameter right here. Okay, and we're going to pass that along. So let's save that, and then we'll go to our views. And let's see, we're going to create a new folder in the views called photos. And let's create a new file in there called create.blade.php. Alright, I'm just going to copy what we have in the albums create form, because it's very similar. Alright, so we'll say upload photo. Alright, and then let's see, it's going to go to photos controller, and it's going to go to store. We'll keep that, keep this stuff here. Alright, and then it's going to have a title, so we're going to change the name to the title. So photo title, and then we're going to have a description, so we can leave that. We'll change it to photo description. And then we want the album ID, which is going to be a hidden field. And remember, we passed it in through the controller right here. Okay, so we're passing it in, so we have access to that. So let's go right here, and we'll say form hidden. Okay, and that's going to be album ID. And we're going to put the value as album_ID. Alright, and then for the file, it's not going to be called cover image, it's just going to be called photo. Alright, and then we have the submit. So that should do it. Let's save it. And let's reload this page. Let's see. Photos controller store not defined. We need to add it to the route. Okay, just like we did with this right here. I'm going to copy that. And we're going to say photos/store. Let's see, photos/store, and then that's going to go to the photos controller store. There we go. So now when we submit this, it's going to go to our photos controller and to a store function. So let's create that. Okay, and that's going to have an ID. Actually, no, this isn't going to get an ID. It's going to get a request. And this is going to be very similar to the store in the album. So let's go grab that. Okay, so this is the albums controller store. I'm just going to get everything here. Okay, we'll copy that. And then in the photos controller store, we'll paste that in. Alright, so this is going to be the same, except we want to change name to title. And then we're going to change cover image to photo. Alright, and then down here we're going to do the same stuff. We're going to get the original name, just replace that with photo. Okay, that'll stay the same. We'll replace this. And then it's going to create the file name to store. And then for the path, what we're going to do is first change this to photo. And then to store it, it's going to go into public, and then it's going to go /photos/ and then what I want to do is create a folder with the album ID, because we have access to that. So let's go right here and just concatenate on request input. Remember, this comes in through the hidden input. and then album ID. Alright, so that'll actually be a folder, and then it'll go into there. Alright, and then down here, let's just change this stuff. Let's say photo. Change this comment to upload photo. Okay, we're going to change all of these. And change this to title. That'll come from request input title. Description, we can leave that. This one is going to be photo. And that's going to be the file name to store. And we also have the size. So let's say photo size. And we can get that by saying request file photo, and then we can call get client size. So get client size. Alright. Oh, we also want the album ID. So right here, let's say photo album underscore ID, and that we can get with this right here, just like that. Okay, that comes from the hidden field. Alright, and then when we're done with that, we're gonna go back to albums and then the album ID. So again, we'll just concatenate that in right here. Alright, and then success, and we'll change this to, let's change this to photo uploaded. Good. Save that. And now let's give it a shot. Alright, so upload, let's go to our animals. We'll say upload, and let's choose a file. We'll grab this monkey here. We'll just call it monkey and say this is an image of a monkey, and submit. Let's see, controllers albums not found. Alright, so I don't think we brought in the model to our photos controller. No, we gotta go here and say use app slash photo. Like that. Oh, and you know what? Down here we said new album. This should actually be new photo. Alright, so let's go ahead and let's go back and let's try that again. Okay, we'll go ahead and choose that, submit, photo uploaded. So let's check the database first. We'll go to our photos table, and there it is. Okay, it's got the album ID of 1, and let's just make sure it was uploaded. If we go over here and go to our public folder storage, it created a photos folder. It created a folder with the ID, and then it has the image. It actually uploaded twice, but we'll go ahead and actually, we'll just leave them just so we don't mess anything up. But that's working. So in the next video, we want to be able to display all those photos down here.